Hello and welcome to the ForexGPT Professional Terminal demo. This platform is currently in alpha mode. I'm Steven Hatzakis, founder of ForexGPT. This is brought to you by forex-gpt.ai, where you could learn more about what we do. Now, this platform is currently running on my 50-inch monitor and I have it in full screen mode. So it's a little, larger than it might normally look on your monitor. But the cool thing about this layout, as you'll notice, is you can resize the different windows. You can grab them, move them around. You can move them to other containers. So you can really customize it any way you like. And if there's something you don't want to use, you can exit out. And also, if you feel like you've gotten lost and you don't know where everything is, you can just go here on the top right-hand corner, click Add Modules, and add something back like the AI Market Intelligence. Now, just to demonstrate how that AI tool works, the first thing you'll notice is on the top, we are looking at the Euro USD. You can see it also here in the trade ticket, the background image of Euro USD. It's also on the chart. So if we switch to something like Bitcoin, then we can see the logo changes on the chart. On the top, we see Bitcoin updated and that we're on a 1 minute. We change that to 1 hour. It'll update here. It'll update on the chart. And you also see BTC in the trade ticket. So now you can manually place a trade. And once you confirm that, you'll see it there. Obviously, there's going to be a spread that you're going to cross. You can see the spread monitor here from the liquidity monitor. Now, looking at this chart here, I'm just going to click on it. It's showing us a 64 sentiment score. That's the last candle. So this very last candle here is, well, it just changed to 65. So that's bullish. And if we click the Analyze button on the top right, which is going to consume tokens, so you can see on the bottom left-hand corner, we have a token balance of 988,204 tokens. We also have a daily quota of 57,000. Once this analysis is finished, which takes less than a minute usually, it's going to pop up here in the AI Market Intelligence section. In addition, if there's any signal generated, all the way on the left, on the top left, you can see these 4 little tabs. We're going to click on signals, and a signal should pop up there once, there we go, it just got created. So you can see that we have a bullish 85% confidence on the signal on the 1 hour chart. Now, if I switch back to a different asset, like let's say we switch to Brent crude oil, but then I go into the signals, and I want to copy this signal to the ticket, as soon as I click copy, it's going to change the asset back to Bitcoin to copy it to the trade ticket. So I'm going to click copy to ticket, and you can see we just switched back to BTC USD, and the trade ticket is populated with the stop loss of 87,400 and the take profit of 89,800, and I can click confirm buy, and boom, we are in there with that position. So this is just a demo, it's just simulated, but you can see that when you have a signal that is on a chart, that's generated from the chart analysis, the lines will also be plotted on the chart. We're not seeing them right now because I switched over to Brent crude oil. Moving past the charts, well, actually, before we move on from the charts, I want to show you that when you click on the chart, you have this legend on the left for the different indicator values. Now, if you click here, you can add additional indicators or remove. So you can remove the indicators, and then the chart will be a little less busy. On the flip side, if you like technical analysis and you want to add, you can really, go to town here and add a bunch of indicators and customize it to your liking. So here the chart is extremely busy because we have all these values here. But if you click on the chart for any given candle, you can read what those values are in the left on the legend. And in addition to that, I'm going to reset to defaults real quick. Okay, so in addition to that, you can also compress the y-axis or the x-axis to adjust the chart. We can also make this chart a little bigger here by removing some of those modules. So now let's say you wanted to do some technical analysis. You click trend line right there, and you can add a trend line. Okay, now you can click save, and that's going to be saved to your account, and it will sync across devices. So we have the trend line there. You can add multiple trend lines, and it's important to note that, you know, like if you put another trend line and you didn't mean to add it, you can just click the backwards button and it will delete it. Trend lines do not yet extend into the future, so you have to let it go before the last candle. And you can also click back on the pointer if you want to adjust a trend line, and then just adjust it accordingly. So that covers the drawing tools. We have these time frames to choose from. You could switch between weekly or again daily, etc. Now you'll see the server time on the top. That's in UTC. And if you want to reset the entire layout, you can just click on this reset button and it will reset everything to the default. Also, the market radar is an interesting tool. You can use this to scan the market. So if you want to do, let's say, a longer term trade, you click swing, it's going to default to daily, weekly, and monthly time frames. You click on the scan and it's scanning the market across 126 assets for those 3 time frames. So that's over, 300 and almost 60 results. And it's taking the top most bullish assets from that list, and it's adding them here. So now if we click add to watch list, we can go into our watch list and see that those were added. So again, these are very bullish on a weekly time frame because this is gold and you can see what gold's been doing recently. So that's one way to find opportunities. If we want to find more short-term opportunities, we click new scan on scalper. I can remove the 15-second, maybe add 15-minute, run a scan. And again, we're going to get the most bullish, bearish results. Here we could see sugar is quite bullish. I'm going to click on sugar, see why. So sugar is bullish on a 5-minute chart. This is daily. Let me switch to 5 minutes. Okay, we could see why. Sugar here in this 5-minute interval has been pretty bullish. It's 3:55 p.m. right now on Friday. So I'm not sure if this market is closed or not. We can switch to 15-second to see. It looks like it might already be closed, but nonetheless, you can see that the price is bullish from this last 2 candles on the 15-minute, on the 5-minute chart, sorry. Yeah, this was the signal that we found. We can also look at the US dollar against the Czech krona here, which is also bullish on a 15-minute, and we could see that strong candle as it's been pushed up. So the Czech krona on a 5-minute, 15-minute, yeah, on a 15-minute is what we had found, but clearly it's even more bullish on a 5-minute. The thing is the reason why it showed the 15-minute here and not the 5-minute is because it puts more weight on the 5-minute chart. So you can see the jump here, the jump higher on the close. So, this is a 91 sentiment score. On a 5-minute, it was also a 90 sentiment score. That might have changed now, but it's putting more weight on the higher time frames. So if you run a scan and you select a bunch of time frames, even if there's a higher sentiment score on a lower time frame, it's going to put more weight on the higher time frame. So that's the market scanner. Another interesting module is the AI market intelligence. So this is basically different blog posts that you can access. Instead of going straight to our blog, they're integrated directly into the platform. They're just loading right now because we're literally like fetching all of the articles in real time. So I'll wait for that to finish while we go through the impact warnings. The impact warnings are going to pull from the economic calendar events. You can see all the events here with the full calendar of events, and the impact warning is going to change depending on the asset. So if like we click on, for example, silver against the Canadian dollar, now we can see that in 3 days this GDP number is coming out in Canada. Or if we switch back to sugar, for example, we can see U.S. Existing home sales, which came out this morning, may have had an impact, as well as the U.S. jobless claims next week. So another thing you can do in the assets library is you can add an asset to your watch list. So you can search through the library. Like if you type euro, it's going to show you all the euro related assets across different categories. So here we have silver against the euro, euro against other currencies, euro against indices. So like the CAC 40 here, we just clicked on, we can see the impact updated, we can see the chart. So that is a quick overview of the asset library. Again, the market intelligence isn't loading in this tab right now, but you can see it in the Knowledge Hub. It's basically the same thing. So here you can access AI generated posts and market analysis, but it's important to note that these articles were not just AI generated, but the AI actually used the same tools that I'm showing you here to do the research and scan the market and analyze the market. In addition, one cool feature besides the signals and everything else we've gone through is the chat. So we have integrated chat here, and you could even talk to it. And this chat is really powerful in the sense of it's not just a chat bot, but it's an agentic chat bot in the sense that the chat can carry out actions for you and execute actions such as scanning the market or getting your token balance or modifying your watch list or analyzing your watch list or fetching blog articles or fetching out economic calendar events. So it pretty much has access to all the tools that you have access to in here except for buying and selling just yet. And we'll test that out. Show me, oh wait, let me just enable this microphone. All right. Show me a list of all the tools that you have available. Send. So now it's pulling a list of all the tools and it will show them to us. And sometimes you have to guide the model, just like with any prompt. You might not like the way it shows you the list. For example, it just showed us the list, but I'm going to say to it, can you show me the full list of all tools, don't leave any out, and make it a numbered list? So we could see it showed us like the discovery tools, the analysis tools, the market data tools. But now here we have a larger list of all 22 tools. And that includes things like, getting the server time, for example, or checking the health of the server, or managing your virtual account, as well as some of the other ones that we had mentioned, such as getting your token balance, analyzing an asset, analyzing your watch list, or modifying your watch list, removing something or adding something to it, or getting a copy of it. And you can say something like, show me a detailed tutorial on how I can use all these tools. So this command is actually using the help tutorial tool. So this is a tool that is designed to not only help traders and users of the platform for analysis, but even to help other AI agents that might be using our MCP server. So here you can see the user guide. So again, it's important to note that even though this is a text-only tool, it's very robust because it's not limited to just this information here that it's sharing with you, but if you prompt it differently, it might give you more granular technical details. In addition, you can open the technical details field of any response and see both how many tokens were consumed as well as what tool was called. So you might say something like, can you analyze Euro USD on a 15-minute chart for the past 2 weeks and give me a detailed analysis, the chart link, as well as audio transcription, please? And now what it's going to do is it's going to grab the Euro USD on a 15-minute chart, go 2 weeks worth of data, go back that far, and once it gets the analysis back from the model, that will include a link to an audio transcription with text-to-speech, as well as a link to the chart URL. Keep in mind the chart URL is to our legacy charts on our legacy platform, but that is simply how that works for the time being. We could see here on the CAC 40 in France that the market closed on a downturn here, the 5-minute chart. But for the day, it was pretty much on an upward beat a little bit. All right, so here we see the analysis. Took less than a minute. We got all the data on the Euro USD on a 15-minute chart, and I'll switch to that asset in the meantime just so we can see it here. Let me just go to Assets and click Euro USD. I'm clearly not searching for this correctly. Okay, so now we switch to the Euro USD, and let's switch to a 15-minute chart, and we can see negative 79.58. So we're going to be within that ballpark, negative 76. Again, the market's moving, the market's still open. You can see the price changing. So with this type of a negative sentiment score, that's why the model generated this potential trade signal. We can see the Bollinger Band, moving averages. We could confirm that here on the chart. Again, they're not always going to line up 100% because the market's moving between the time that we generated this analysis and that I'm comparing it to the chart. And there's also economic calendar events that are that it's aware of, but it's a little different than the ones that we show here in terms of the context. It's looking more in the shorter term. There's also the link to the chart that, again, this link was created specifically on the fly for this analysis, going back the amount of time that we requested. And then we have the audio transcription, which I'll switch to so you can see right here.
As of December 19, 2025 at 21:4:27 UTC, this is your ForexGPT analysis for Euro versus US dollar on the 15-minute chart. The most recent close price was 1.17125.
All right, I'm going to switch back just for the sake of time, but you see the audio response. So that's just a quick, example of how you can use the chat in an agentic way. You might say something to the agent like, to the chat, you might say something like, if you were a retail trader and wanting to conduct market analysis with this tool, given the number of available actions and tools within this environment, how would you use this product? So now you're asking the chat like how it would use itself, basically, given that these are the tools that are available. And keep in mind, just in full disclosure, these tools are still experimental. There's no shortcuts to making money. None of this is implying that it's easy to trade. In fact, the majority of traders lose money. So you want to take each tool with a grain of salt and not rely too much on any one specific tool. Having said that, it is potentially useful in your arsenal to access AI-powered tools like this. And it shows here the model is saying, if I were a retail trader utilizing this tool, I would follow a structured approach to conduct market analysis effectively. Here's how I would leverage the available actions and tools. Market scanning. I would scan the market. We demonstrated the market scan tool earlier. That is over here. Let's see, where did I add it just now? Right here. So let's move that over there. So we demonstrated the market scanner tool, how that works. Then it would list assets, use the list assets tool to familiarize myself with available assets. You could actually ask it to give you a list of all the assets, or you could just look in the asset library. Either way works. And again, the asset library, you can expand and see how many are in each category. Third, technical analysis, utilize the Analyze Watch List tool. So once you have assets in your watch list, you can analyze the entire watch list in one shot. And we could demonstrate that now just as an example. Here we have euro, we have the silver against the Australian dollar, Brent crude oil, BTC USD. So we could literally run the Analyze Watch List command here in the chat. We could just say, analyze my watch list, and it'll do that. Or we could analyze a specific asset, which we already demonstrated with Bitcoin. You can also do multi-time frame analysis. And that means you can analyze one asset across multiple time frames at the same time. Market data monitoring, you can get chart data. That's basically the same like, just looking at a chart. You're just getting it here in the chat. Get spreads, that's also helpful, similar to the liquidity monitor, liquidity scanner that we have here, just to give you an idea with that. And then the fundamental analysis is going to be the economic events tool. You can ask the chat to show you economic events. Like, tell me all the economic events that are coming out over the next 7 days. And then, you might ask it after this, which of these events might affect items in your watch list. That could be a faster way than having to scan through each asset and look at the impact warnings for each. So here we could see the events that are coming up. You could confirm those. You can see that that Bank of Japan rate decision is the first one here on the list. And then you can say to it something like, which of these events is most likely to affect items on my watch list? And keep in mind that in order for an item to be on your watch list, it has to be starred. So I just realized I didn't star silver against the Australian dollar, because sometimes you might add something to your watch list but not star it, because when you star it, it's basically saved. So right now you can see it's only aware of the 3 assets because I didn't star the silver Aussie pair. And then here are the events that it thinks will have the biggest impact for each asset. Euro, US dollar, which impacts euro, could indirect BTC, euro, and then euro. Okay, and then next we had, beyond the fundamental analysis, risk management and strategy development. Basically, that enables you to, just ask the model questions related to developing your strategy, just like you would, ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini. This model is powered by GPT 4.0 Mini, which is more friendly on your token balance. And then manage virtual accounts basically is, related to your demo account here. Now you can reset your demo account by clicking the reset button on the bottom left corner. But you can ask, things like, what is my demo account balance and what is my token balance? And, if you were on ChatGPT or in Claude and you had our custom connector enabled to our MCP server, you would be able to access this information and all of these same tools, even if you weren't in the platform. But because you're in the platform here, you probably don't need to ask it these questions, because you could just see your balance across both sides. So, and here it says 950 because that was the balance before we actually ran this this command, because you could see this command cost us 30,000 tokens, and we can see our token balance is lower here at 919,000. So you want to be mindful of how you're using the chat, given that there is a cost to using it from a token perspective. but we expect that cost to go down as tokens become cheaper. And that's pretty much that. I don't think there was anything else we didn't go through as far as what the model suggested, but there probably were additional tools here from this list that we didn't go over. And I would encourage you to explore them if you would like to, but I hope you found this tutorial useful. Again, you know, this is the alpha version of the platform. You can, you know, rearrange it to your liking. And if you feel like you have messed up the layout and don't know where you are, you can always just click to reset the layout to the default layout, which is this. In the default layout, we don't have the calendar, but you can easily add that and see all the calendar events. That's pretty much it. I'm trying to think. Okay, the order ticket we didn't really go through, but you can customize the lot size. When you click, you have to double click to confirm. When you enable the stop loss, that's when the slider becomes available, and you can click on, you can modify it like that, or on the take profit side, you could click to go to pips, percent, price, or points, depending on what you want to set your stop value to. Oh, another cool thing is the guard. So when the guard is on, if you try to place a trade that's contrarian, like let's say, for example, right now we're looking at the Euro USD here, okay? So with the Euro USD, the last candle is 81, negative 81 on a 15-minute. So if we go to buy that, it's going to give us this contrarian trade warning because we're going against the sentiment score, because it's negatively it's so negatively bearish, and we're trying to go against that. That's why we're getting this warning. Now you can confirm to place the trade and go against that, or you could disable the guard if you don't want that warning, so you can just buy and get filled right away. And you know, you can enable one-click trading to just click in one shot, or if that's off, you have to click twice to confirm the buy. And that's it. You can close the trades on the right. Again, the balance information is simulated. So this is a demo. It's not an actual demo with a brokerage, but we do plan on enable connectivity to a brokerage in the coming weeks and months. So I hope you found this tutorial useful. And one more thing that I didn't go over here is on the top, you'll see the streak and win rate percentage that will also calculate some of your past trades. So hope you found this tutorial useful. Thank you so much for watching, and for more, visit forex-gpt.ai. If you would like to access this platform, you can log in at demo.forex-gpt.ai. However, it requires a special access token that you can generate from our beta server. So once you visit this URL, demo.forex-gpt.ai, it will guide you on the instructions on how to do that, or visit forex-gpt.ai to learn more. And again, this is not investment advice. The majority of traders lose money, so stay safe out there, and I wish you the best of luck in your trading journey success.